from being a top supporter to the SEC dropping its lawsuit, from a top investor in Wolfer to Tron ringing the Nasdaq bell, and from public feuding to threats of legal action. Today, we'll trace the timeline of how the relationship between Justin Sun and the Trump family shifted, and how this game of power evolved into an all-out public feud. Wednesday, April 15th. This is BTV Chinese channel CoinChain, and I'm Michael. Our daily report is broadcast simultaneously every day in Vietnam, Japan, Thailand, South Korea, Spain, and English-speaking regions by local anchors in their native languages. First, let's look at the 24-hour crypto data headlines sponsored by NEXO. NEXO is the world's most compliant crypto trading platform, second only to Coinbase. Now that it's launched in Asia, you shouldn't view it as just a simple crypto-to-crypto exchange. Its goal is to target major clients in Asia. Its primary business is helping them manage funds efficiently while ensuring risk control and compliance. This means you don't need to sell your digital assets to stake, borrow, or spend daily, allowing your capital to flow efficiently and grow in value. So scan the QR code on the screen. Besides long-term fee discounts and rebates, you can also get a maximum deposit bonus of $5,000. You can scan the code now or find the download link in the comments after you register and deposit. Using your UID, we'll have a lucky draw this Sunday. The top prize is 1,000 U for one lucky winner. Okay, let's look at our data headlines. The market is currently in a very critical transition phase where long-term holders have stopped selling. Let's look at the CDD indicator. It has dropped from 1.6 million last November all the way down to 330,000 now, a fourfold contraction. What does this mean? Long-term holders are barely moving. Normally, they'd be very eager to sell at the peak of a bull market. But now it's very quiet, suggesting they aren't dumping. Of course, some whales are just moving funds between wallets to restructure, like when Coinbase moved 800,000 Bitcoin recently. That's not necessarily a dump. Regardless of the explanation, the core signal is simple. Old coins are being held very tightly. Selling pressure in the market is clearly shrinking. Okay, if you're tired of looking at K-line charts every day, let's look at this Renko chart. It ignores time and only focuses on price. A brick is only drawn after a certain price movement, filtering out all the noise. This makes the chart much cleaner. Now this chart is set to $5,000 per brick, and the result is quite sobering. Look, even though Bitcoin rebounded to 75,000, the bricks are still falling all in blue. What does this mean? Short-term capital is still exiting. Simply put, new money entering the market is getting cheaper, and the market is still in the process of slowly deflating the bubble. So this rebound is just a breather. It's not a true reversal yet. Only when you see a row of upward bricks will the trend really have changed. Okay, let's look at another interesting phenomenon. Currently, Ethereum's average is around 2,365, still above the 7-day and 14-day moving averages. It looks stable, but the market battle is intense. Global open interest has reached $16.3 billion, which is above the average. Meanwhile, the funding rate is negative 0.00027. What does this mean? The overall market is shorting, but Binance's open interest is $6.04 billion, up 10% in 24 hours. The funding rate turned positive at 0.00154, showing leveraged long positions. What's the takeaway? The world is shorting while Binance is longing, so this structure is clearly imbalanced. If it breaks upward, a short squeeze will cause the price to surge rapidly. If it breaks downward, the priority liquidation of long positions will amplify the downward volatility. So now, whether the price goes up or down depends on who gets liquidated first. Okay, in yesterday's show, we detailed the conflict between Justin Sun and the WLFI project. What exactly is the focus of their dispute? What's causing this head-to-head clash? What are they really fighting over? Well, this matter isn't over yet. Today, Justin Sun publicly accused WLFI's freezing mechanism and Guardian's authority on X, claiming his $107 million is still locked up. And the token price has already dropped 70%, which is a massive financial loss for Justin Sun. So today we're going to try to break this all down. Look, the SEC once sued Justin Sun, demanding a guilty plea, but after becoming Trump's top donor, the SEC dropped the lawsuit, no plea needed, and he became a top investor in WLFI. Huobi and the entire Tron platform went all in to support WLFI. In the end, they turned on each other and went to court. What exactly went wrong during this process? Given Justin Sun's usual approach, I believe entering Trump's inner circle must involve specific demands, whether in terms of the ecosystem, investments, or even influence. So where did the misunderstanding or change occur? Let's look at the timeline to try and find the answer.
In November 2024, Justin Sun bought about $30 million of WLFI and subsequently joined the project's advisory board. For WLFI, this was a crucial endorsement of capital and traffic. For Justin Sun, it was also an entry point into the Trump family's new crypto narrative.
All right, if we follow the timeline, we have to go back to January 2025. According to media reports, Justin Sun invested at least $75 million into WLFI and Trump-related investment projects. So he's not just a peripheral supporter anymore, but the most significant external investment representative. This was Justin Sun's first real entry into Trump's field of vision, marking the start of their warming relationship.
But Sun has also been in the crosshairs of US regulators for a long time. He was sued by the SEC in 2020, 2020, 2023 for fraudulently manipulating the price of the Tron cryptocurrency. After Trump won the election, he spent $75 million on that World Liberty Financial Crypto, WLFI, and became one of the top investors in it. And not long after Trump was inaugurated, that SEC case against him was essentially put on ice. And so, critics of that whole transaction have pointed to the sort of obvious incentive that Sun would have.
In May 2025, the relationship peaked. The key was Justin Sun becoming a major Trump meme coin holder. He got a prime seat at the May 22nd crypto gala, and on the 23rd, he showed off a $100,000 gold watch and posted White House content. This phase wasn't just about exposure. It was about confirming his status and officially entering the power narrative.
This gold Trump watch, how much is it worth? Well, they say online it's $100,000 watch. Yeah, and it has lots of diamonds. Yes. Actually, I'm not really a watch person, just like Elon Musk. I never wear them because I just check my phone. So this watch probably isn't even set to the right time yet, but since the president gave it to me, it's very precious, so I put it on right away.
Because he was so high profile early on, the later cracks were even more glaring. As controversies over WLFI's lockups, governance, and control piled up, Justin Sun went from being a supporter to the one blowing the whistle.
All right, last May, after the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas and Trump's gala, it was probably the peak honeymoon phase for the Trump family and brother Sun. During that time, Trump was everywhere taking photos with people while wearing that little gold Trump watch. As the mascot of the Trump gala, with the SEC dropping its lawsuit and Sun traveling freely across the US, it sent a signal to the world that he was now tied to the Trump family's power. But on a side note, brother Sun, does a $100,000 watch really belong on the wrist of a billionaire like you? Wearing it like that in photos, what do we call that in body language? It's just showing off the bling, right? But if you keep it in the box and hold the box for photos, it shows respect for Trump's mascot, while signaling that a $100,000 watch is beneath your wrist. In PR terms, that's a much classier move, but that's an aside. What really cast a shadow on the relationship were rumors that after Sun got all the backing he wanted, he dumped all his Trump meme coins. Sold them all. And it was an insider who revealed this. Selling the Trump tokens might have been the first speck of dust on their relationship, but what really soured things and led to a fallout were further leaks from this insider. When WLFI first launched, HKEX ran a huge promotion where staking WLFI earned high interest, but this whistleblower claimed Sun took the WLFI from that address to other exchanges to short and dump it, using the profits to subsidize HKEX users. For WLFI, this was the ultimate betrayal, and the wallet addresses and transfer times all point directly to brother Sun. So this is the root cause of the conflict between the two parties, and why WLFI froze the addresses related to brother Sun. And this whistleblower is someone very close to brother Sun, his ex-girlfriend.
Zhang Ying raised 3 types of allegations involving market behavior, relationship issues, and political investments. She claimed to have supported Justin Sun during his low point, only to be cut off and have the relationship ended due to their differing social status. More importantly, she has submitted materials to the SEC and FBI, moving the incident from public opinion directly into a potential legal review process. Subsequently, related content faced restrictions during platform distribution, and even account statuses became abnormal, further amplifying market attention. Once regulators intervene, market logic will shift to compliance logic. In the crypto industry, the real risk isn't financial loss, but the breakdown of the trust structure.
Now, about this Zhang Ying, I didn't really want to mention her because it sounds like gossip. but the details she's brought forward simply have to be considered within the timeline. Her online handle is 1010 and she's based in Tokyo. She has a certain level of influence in the Japanese-Chinese community and is very active on social media. The point isn't her identity, her status as an influencer, or whether she had a past relationship with Brother Sun. In the early days, she was indeed involved in his startup projects and was close to his core decision-making circle. It should be noted that Brother Sun hasn't publicly or explicitly acknowledged her status as an ex-girlfriend. The key thing we need to look at are some of the revelations from Zheng Ying that can't be ignored on this timeline. These revelations aren't just about their relationship, but rather a whole set of concrete details from the past.
Looking at the timeline, the report happened in February 2026, while the asset freeze was made public in April, forming a continuous structure. This shows that before the public conflict erupted, risks had already been accumulating internally and were gradually being released.
So you see, from the honeymoon phase with the top donor to mutual support and public flirting, then the ex-girlfriend's revelations, followed by account bans, and finally legal action and head-to-head confrontation. In this process, if we look at them individually, each event could tell its own story, but when you string them together, they form a structure. The question then shifts from what happened to why it happened this way. So you see, from the honeymoon phase with the top donor to mutual support and public flirting, then the ex-girlfriend's revelations followed by account bans, and finally legal action and head-to-head confrontation. In this process, if we look at each event individually, each one can tell a story, but if we string them together, they form a structure. The question then shifts from what happened to why it happened this way.
On January 20th, 2025, Trump was officially inaugurated as president. Just 1 month later, in February 2025, the US SEC announced a stay of its lawsuit against Justin Sun, citing public interest. This phrasing itself is highly flexible. In a legal context, it's not a specific standard, but rather a kind of policy space. Shortly after, in March 2025, the SEC reached a settlement with Justin Sun with a $10 million fine and no admission of guilt. Effectively, this meant no formal conviction, and the legal risks were temporarily resolved.
So there are two key points here. First, look at the fine amount. For someone with Justin's wealth, this amount doesn't pose any pressure at all, right? It's just a drop in the bucket. Second, no admission of guilt. This means Justin's legal record in the US remains clean and untarnished. Such a combination in SEC regulatory cases is quite uncommon.
During this phase, the market also noted his continuous investment in related crypto projects, including World Liberty Financial and Trump-related assets. Public records show his investment in World Liberty Financial reached the $75 million level, while also holding approximately $18.5 million in Trump-related assets.
So, regarding Justin's strategic investment in World Liberty Financial and Trump tokens, I think it's a solid move, very visionary and politically astute. But investments of this scale can no longer be measured as just investments. They enter a much larger narrative. Think about it. Justin has legal troubles. Trump has power. Justin has money. Trump has power. So when power and interests are layered together like this, both sides can get exactly what they need across various dimensions and achieve their goals.
From May 22nd to 23rd, 2025, Justin Sun was invited to a crypto gala and given a prime seat. This wasn't just attending an event, it was a confirmation of status. On that occasion, he received a custom gold watch valued at about $100,000. This detail, following right after the SEC's dismissal and settlement, further amplified the perceived connection across the entire chain of events.
All right, what does it mean to get what each needs? Look, when you straighten out the timeline, it looks like this. Justin became the top supporter of Trump meme tokens, and the SEC dropped all penalties against him. Then World Liberty Financial was founded, Justin invested heavily in it, landed on the covers of various wealth magazines, promoted it everywhere, and started showcasing his Tron tokens. Finally, Tron went public in the US via a backdoor listing and rang the bell.
On July 24, 2025, Tron rang the bell at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, New York, officially entering the mainstream capital market. During this same period, Midu continued to film Justin Sun from a first-person perspective. From on-site interviews to event recordings, this entire process was transformed into high-frequency exposure content. The bell ringing itself is a capital signal, while the camera lens amplifies the narrative's influence.
Okay, here we are at the NASDAQ exchange. Tron will be ringing the bell shortly. Let's take a look. Brother Sun's Tron is up on the big NASDAQ screen. Pretty impressive, right? Hello, everyone. Brother Sun's Tron is now being listed on the NASDAQ. How does it feel to ring the bell today?
It's very exciting.
What our channel has been doing isn't as simple as just talking about the news. We're deconstructing structures and looking at the essence. We only talk about logic and look at results, seeing what has actually happened. Is the information from Brother Sun's ex-girlfriend credible? I think a conclusion will naturally be reached. Did Brother Sun dump the market? I believe legal justice will be served in the lawsuit. But there's one point that I think might be the root of the conflict between the two parties, and that's a difference in perception. Brother Sun viewed this $100 million plus as an investment, meaning I can clearly profit, I can sell, I can buy low and sell high. This is what I should be doing in my investment behavior on the blockchain. But in the eyes of the Trump family, they might see this $100 million plus not as an investment, but as a political contribution. What you're exchanging it for is the SEC dropping the lawsuit, for Tron to go public through a backdoor listing, for your freedom to travel in the US, to appear in various wealth magazines, and to gain more financing. So, regarding the nature of this money, a fundamental gap in perception emerged between the two sides. This might be the most important reason for their head-to-head confrontation. Of course, Brother Sun has his own personality, his own growth history, and his own behavioral habits. If you're interested, we can deconstruct more details in the next episode. We'll see how a powerful figure or a respected crypto mogul came to be. If you found this interesting, please give us a like. We hope you'll join as a member so we can all get rich together slowly. See you tomorrow.